you're doing work incorrectly. And you might be saying, what do you
Huh?
mean by that? How could I be doing my work incorrectly? I don't even know what work you're doing. You're still getting distracted. Let's be honest. You've probably heard of different methods to, do work, improve your productivity, and get the most done as fast as possible. Putting your phone in another room, 15 minutes of working, 5 minutes off, 30 minutes of working, 5 minutes off. Whatever strategy it might be, you've probably heard one that you think works the best. Let's be honest. How many of them are you using? Are you just using it every once in a while whenever you remember it? Or are you doing it every time you need to get some deep work done of extreme value? You might be having a midterm paper that you have to write that you just forget you and every like 5, 10 minutes you just pop up your phone, you see a notification, you open it, next thing you know, you've been distracted for 20 minutes and you just spend more time distracted than you did working on the actual work. See, procrastination is a real problem. If you want to get ahead, get stuff done, make it of substantial value, you need to realize that you need to focus your energy. Nowadays, people are split between too many things and too many times at, every single moment. You might be on the phone doing homework, watching a video. Your attention split between three different things. What are you focusing on? Like you're just training your brain to just give the minimal attention to retain whatever it needs to those three different categories. And what this does in turn is it takes away from the energy that you should be, fully committed to. Is if it's the paper you're writing, you need to be fully committed to it. You can't just push it off and let, other things take value over it. A couple of years ago, I watched this TED Talk by Steve Peters, a professor, and his idea was the chimp paradox. Now you might be asking, what is the chimp paradox? What does that mean? It's such an interesting concept. Let me explain. The chimp paradox means that your brain works in a mode of fear. When you realize that you have, no deadline on something, there's no urgency. Your chimp's just messing around, he's playing around, he's not focused, he's doing whatever it needs. On the other hand, if you have a deadline, but it's far away, one that's still a couple months out, maybe a year out, you're not worried, you're just chilling, you're relaxing, you're not worried about, what you have to submit in a year. But as that deadline approaches, you start becoming, reckless. You're panicking. Your chimp is just, not organized. It doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know how to handle itself. It doesn't know how to go about the situation because it's actually approaching you and you can't, just delay it. You can't just keep procrastinating and pushing it off till later because later already came. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome aboard Life Launchpad, your go-to channel for practical advice and guidance to launch your dreams into reality. I'm your host, Andrew Savina. Today we're talking about procrastination and overcoming your mind. I made a video a while ago about, talking about procrastination and focusing, but I feel like now with some more, information and, more expertise on what I'm talking about and learning, I feel like I have a better foundation to tell you more about it and how you can overcome it yourself. So, how do you purge your procrastination? The reality of it is, it's all about mental strength. You could learn all the different tactics, learn all the different ways and different things you can do to, how you should be focused on work. But if you don't put them into practice and actually execute on them, it doesn't matter. And that goes for almost every single one of my videos. If you don't, execute and put into effect everything that you've learned, then you're just absorbing knowledge and you're just holding it on. You're not acting on it. You're not making a change, you're not making a difference, you're not making something happen. Nonetheless, I'm going to give you some tips that really will help you limit your procrastination, help you focus and do this high power, high efficiency work so that you can get the best results. And honestly, the first one that I'm going to mention as frowned upon and how hard it might be in this day of age is deleting social media. I've talked about this in some of my previous videos, and I talked about how last year, right when I started this channel, after I finished my sophomore year of college, I deleted all my social media for a long period of time. It was just, I was taking a break. I didn't need it. All I needed was to text people because if I needed something to do, I just texted them, they responded. But what this did for me, it gave my mind mental clarity. I wasn't distracted by these different, notifications, people texting me, different posts. I was just focused on what I was doing at the time, and that was starting my YouTube channel and my internship and my other job that I was working. I just had so much more time and so much more focus that all of those things I just excelled in. And as much as I would love to, keep social media deleted, I kind of need social media for my job that I work here. I have to promote myself. But I found a loop around it. I have a second phone, and on that second phone is where I keep all my social media. So it's just such a bigger hassle to get to social media than it is just if it was on my regular phone. I'll touch more on that. Another key concept about purging procrastination is just making it as hard as possible to procrastinate, and reducing the opportunities for your mind to get distracted. A couple examples of this might be, removing your phone from your room, as I mentioned. If you're studying, you're writing your paper, you have test the next day, taking your phone, putting it somewhere else where, rather than just, moving your hand, looking at it and seeing it, you would have to go walk down some steps, grab it, check it, put it down. It's just like it makes it such a big hassle. Another example of this would be, if you play video games a lot. I personally played a lot of video games. On my desktop, I had like, 20 different video games that I could just click, click, open. Instead, delete all the icons, get them out of your mind, and then they're just not even there. It'll, reduce the chances that you think about them, and it makes it so much harder to get to that point. For me, if I wanted to play video games, I only have one or two installed that I don't play. But if I wanted to play one that I haven't, I would have to install it, which takes 30 minutes for the download to happen, and then I could play it. Creating as many obstacles as possible is going to reduce the chances of you getting off task and deviating your focus from what you really should be working on at that time. And I mentioned earlier, it's all about mental capacity and mental focus. Really, biggest and key step is how committed are you to focus. How much do you want to work on what you're working on? I know some things might not be as appealing as others, but if you really need to and you really want to, you're gonna put the work in. People that are athletes, college athletes, they might not want to, practice at 5 a.m., but they're so committed and they don't even procrastinate. They don't go out the night before because they know they have to go practice the next day early in the morning. They just know what they have to do and they just stick to it. Another great, conversation that I heard about is giving yourself respect. This might sound a little out of left field, but when your, teacher tells you a homework assignment is due, what do? You submit it before it's due. Your boss tells you to get something done by a certain date, you get it done by a certain date. So why is it when you tell yourself that you need to do something by a certain date, you just push it off? You be like, oh, it's okay. I got time. I can push it off till whenever. And this might be, going to the gym, starting a diet, some sort of project, a business, whatever it might be. You just give yourself a date and then you don't execute on it. You don't follow through on it. You go and you push it off because you don't put yourself at a higher enough respect. This enters a whole different conversation of self-respect, and that's, something I'm not going to get into in here, but you have to appreciate what you're doing and you have to actually work on it, work towards it, get it done, do what you have to do, and do it because you said you will. Keep your own word. The sad reality of it is that in today's age, procrastination is just so accepted. It is so available, so easy to do that it's just not even like, oh, it happens, whatever. Nobody's gonna get mad at you because you got Instagram, you got Snapchat, you got YouTube, you got TikTok, you got ads. You got your phone that does a random ringing just so you would check it, you're hooked, and it's just everything's leading you to take time away from whatever you're doing and put it into something else. Because nowadays, the most important thing that businesses and people make money off of is your attention. Being able to focus your attention and do it, use it on what you need to is essential. From my personal perspective, my focus and making sure that I don't delay anything and I don't procrastinate, that really just relates to my YouTube channel, getting this content out, editing it, my schoolwork, making sure I get my homework done, I study for my exams. I have my actual job. I can't procrastinate, something like homework so that and then I come around to, the time I have to go to work and I'm like, dude, I didn't finish my homework assignment, and then I'm just put myself in a pickle. Because as I mentioned, you could push things off, procrastinate, put them to a later date, but then eventually at some point it's gonna pile on top of each other. You're gonna push something that's due this Wednesday onto, next week's Thursday, and you realize you had something due on that Thursday too. So now you have the double the work due on the same date because you just pushed it off. And you're not giving yourself that respect, you're not putting the effort in, and now you're just putting yourself in a worse situation than you were before. And that's a slippery slope because once you get there, then you're cramming to do that, and then you realize that you have some other stuff that you've missed out that maybe you've pushed off to, smaller tasks. But it's like a snowball effect. You start small, it starts growing, and then next thing you know, you got this big avalanche of a snowball. And I understand if it's something that you're not too passionate about, something that doesn't really mean that much to you, procrastination might be, oh, whatever. You submit something, it gets you whatever, the bare minimum that you desire. But if you're working towards something, you really care about, something that really matters in you, something that you put highly on a pedestal, why not give it your all? Why would you distract yourself? Why would you take your attention away from something that you truly care about and put it onto something else? And then let that thing that you really care about just fall down in value. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe. Got a lot of content. As I say that, I feel like every video I got a lot of content. It's because I do. I have a lot of content that I'm editing and I have prepared to upload. I'm just trying to stick to the schedule. I'm trying to make sure that I give myself this like buffer space too. That if I miss, if I have something come up, I can, fall back on the content that I've already uploaded. And therefore, I have a little bit of cushion for myself. As bad as that sounds, I don't know. It doesn't sound bad, but like it just gives me some more flexibility because, I still have a life. I have work. I pick up shifts. I got school. I have two basketball leagues now. So my time is. I've got a lot of stuff going on. Trying to enjoy life. I still want to hang out with my friends before I graduate. We all do our own things. So still working on this. Thank you so much for 300 subscribers. That's something that happened. That happened on Saturday. I hit 300 subscribers, so that was huge. I felt amazing. Felt great. Um, what else? What else? Some updates. Bitcoin hit 50,000. Right now it's at like 49.5. So that's pretty cool. 50 grand rally as we all, a lot of people expected. What else do we have? You know, just been, working, looking things into things. Got some exams coming up, so I got to go focus on that. Other than that, I really hope you guys have a great day. And don't forget, the power to transform your lives lies within you. Don't stop learning. Don't stop growing. Don't stop launching towards your dreams. I've been hosting Andrew, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.